welcome to Lena's World. So today I made a trip to the local farmers market. You know, I like hanging out in local farmers markets wherever I go in the world. These are my most favorite places to hang out, probably. And I got something what we don't have in our garden because the season is on, and I believe that every woman should have this particular thing, what's lying right here in front of you on my little table. These are what? Looks red, nice, delicious, appealing. Actually, they don't taste as good as they look. These are cranberries. Full of nutrients, antioxidants, increases the immune system, fights any infections, lowers our blood pressure even, a good nourishment for our brain. So it gives us brain power, so to say. It's known as a superfood in most countries, right? And I think in the US, no Thanksgiving goes without the dish with cranberries. Now, what is the best way to consume them? And what are the other benefits that cranberries offer us? Okay, raw form, of course, is the best because we don't lose any nutrients. But why did I tell you that every single woman should have them? Because we women tend to be more prone to urinary tract infections, to UTIs. And this is probably one of the number one natural medicines, from our nature's cabinet, I would say nature's medicine cabinet, that we can help to prevent UTIs or treat UTI whenever we get it. In Chinese medicine, it's very clearly also stated it removes toxins from our blood, dissolves kidney and bladder stones. No wonder it enters the kidney, bladder, lung, and stomach meridian. It clears heat. It helps if you have any dry coughs, improves digestion, and also talks about UTIs, urinary tract infections. They tend to increase acidity, okay? And what does that mean? Because then the pH level changes slightly, because no bacteria can thrive in the acidic environment. In this case, so when we consume cranberries, we have to drink lots and lots of water, okay? To get to pass this urine as often as we can, to get the acid out and all the bacteria flushing out with it. So remember, cranberries, if you can't get them fresh, of course, I also have, there's a little bottle here from the pharmacy. It says cranberry concentrate plus vitamin C. So this is another alternative, the second best. I mean, you can't even say it's the second best. It's a concentrated pill. Nothing can beat what comes directly from the Mother Nature. In Ayurveda, the same. It says, it's chemostatic, it's cleansing the blood, and it's also diuretic. So interesting, right? But one difference, which is not the first time I came across, like if it's Chinese medicine, it's known to be, because it's bitter and sour in taste. If you eat it like this, it's not very pleasant to consume it like that. It's edible, but it's very astringent, very strong in its potency, in its taste. Of course, full of vitamin C, I can taste it right away. But in Chinese medicine, it's known to be cooling, whereas in Ayurveda, it says it's heating. I find it very interesting. But at the same time, Ayurveda says it's good because it balances pitta and vata. I find a little bit contradictory, but you make what you want to make out of it. Either way, it's extremely beneficial, and especially for female. I'm telling you, probably you should always have not fresh cranberries, the pills, the concentrated cranberry pills. Because I think the statistics show that 1 in 5 women is prone to get a UTI in her lifetime. And once you get it once, you just probably, it will go forever. It will repeat itself from time to time. Now, as I said, fresh is the best way to consume them. And the most amazing thing about cranberries, because I just washed them, just with a strainer and washed them in cold water. You can eat them fresh all year round. This is something unique about cranberries. How are we going to do that? So let's take, these are my glass jars, and they're always reuse them every year. There used to be other things in them, but then I wash them, make them very, very clean. So I'm gonna use this little plate that I don't spill all over. those berries, and I'm just gonna pour them inside my glass jars. So these are fresh cranberries, right? Now what we want to do, this is plain water from the tap, because here in this country we can drink tap water, no problem. And I'm gonna pour some water over them. Okay. You have to really make sure all cranberries are covered in water. And then I'm going to put the lid on, tightly close it, and you can see these are cranberries inside and they're good to go. What do I mean? You don't need to refrigerate them. They stay as good as they are, as fresh as they are. You just put them maybe in your, this is my little cellar, my little, a storage room, and I'm going to keep it there in the dark. And anytime, be it winter, springtime, because they come in early, I would say like mid-fall, around the mid-fall, that's when the cranberries start coming. It depends on these, sometimes early, sometimes a little later in this climate, four-season climate here. But I can consume them anytime. So when I want to consume them, I'll just open them, strain the water. Actually, if you want to change the water from time to time, it's also okay. This will not go bad. So when I want to consume them, I'll strain them, I'll add some sugar, blend them, and just consume them raw, just like that. Absolutely delicious. Not only it's so beneficial, but with honey, sometimes I add a little bit of cinnamon, a little bit of nutmeg, a little bit of cloves, because I told in Chinese medicine, which I totally believe in, because I know how it works in my system. It's cooling, so you want to balance it off, and all these other things, the cinnamon, cloves, cardamom, they're a little bit, inducing pitta, so they have a little heating property, so to say, tend to heat up a little bit, so it will balance very nicely. So again, or if you just don't want to put anything, you don't put anything, because honey in itself is, warming, like neutral warming in its energetics. But because we're using honey, of course, if you don't want to use honey, you can use your sugar. I would not recommend, so brown sugar is okay, but white sugar, stay away from it. But if we're using honey, you do want to include those, as I told, the cinnamon, cardamom, cloves, even some, maybe sprinkle a little pepper, that's okay, because you want to dissolve the kapha of honey. Okay, so play with it. But the key thing is, this is how you can keep your cranberries, and they're good to go. And I'm gonna go ahead and do the same thing with every other jar. As I told you, lots of antioxidants, vitamin C, and by the way, they're also known to be anti-aging, natural, because they're so full of nutrients and antioxidants, and blood cleansing, right? Anti-aging and keeping the skin nice and smooth, and gives a very good color to your skin. So a little bit more water, not more, it just has to cover, I would say, not just a little more, you have to cover it completely. Again, these are clean glass jars, and very good. They're very tart, but I love them because I know how beneficial they are, and it makes me actually love them more than anything else. Even if they're not prone to get UTIs. I told you there are so many other reasons, even for men, you can take it anti-aging. I think each one of us like this, does it fit? Yeah. Like this anti-aging word, right? But it should not be a goal in itself. And keep this instrument healthy to walk the path of the divinity, that we can, connect to our higher selves better, not just a goal in itself, egocentric, anti-aging, what to do with this word anti-aging. Would you want to live forever? I don't think so, If there is no quality of life, it means nothing. So we must have a good quality of life, good instrument, healthy body, to serve it as an instrument for us to serve high goals why we took this birth in the first place. So here we go. My calculations were quite okay this time. I'm surprised with myself. See, there were some other things in these jars, but I'm using those plain jars. One more here, and welcome to this healthy world of cranberries. Again, it's the big must for any female, or if you want to increase your immunity, to nourish your body, just as I told you, whenever you're ready, just take a few, blend them, because on their own it might be a little too tart. Blend them with honey and continue regularly for a few weeks, and you'll definitely notice a difference. If there is a problem, take them for a few days, and you will heal yourself in a natural way. As I always say, be your best doctor. And Mother Nature is there to serve us. She provided everything for us, what we need to keep our bodies strong and healthy. Welcome to Lena World.